house and a new place.
Mother Bayard, sit between us.
Well, Mother, how do you like it? Our first Christmas dinner at the new house, eh?
I don't know what your dear father would say.
Well, let's pray. Dear Heavenly Lord, I thank you for this food that you put on our table, and I thank you for the family that you've given me, Lord, in this house. And Lord, I pray for the many wonderful Christmas dinners we'll have under this roof. In your name I pray, amen.
My dear Lucia, I remember when there were Indians on this very land, and I wasn't a young girl either. I remember when we had to cross the Mississippi on a new-made raft. I remember when Kansas City and St. Louis were full of Indians.
Imagine that. What a wonderful day for our first Christmas dinner. A beautiful sunny morning, snow, a splendid sermon. Dr. McCarthy preaches a splendid sermon. I cried and cried.
What do you have, Mother? A sliver of white?
Every last twig is wrapped around with ice. You almost never see that. Mother Bayard, can I cut up for you, dear? Gertrude, I forgot the jelly. You know, on the top shelf? Mother Bayard, we found your mother's gravy boat while we were moving. What was your name, dear? What were all your names? You were a Genevieve Wainwright. Now your mother?
I was Genevieve Wainwright. My mother was Faith Morrison, and she was the daughter of a farmer in New Hampshire who was something of a blacksmith, too. And she married John Wainwright.
Genevieve Wainwright, Faith Morrison.
It's all down in a book somewhere upstairs. We have it all. All that kind of thing's very interesting. Come, Lucia, just a little wine. Mother, a little red wine for Christmas dinner? Full of iron. Take a little wine for thy stomach's sake.
Really, I can't get used to these wines. I don't know what my father'd say. But I suppose it's all right.
Well, well, I smell turkey. Oh, my dear cousins, I can't tell you how pleasant it is to be having Christmas dinner with you all again. I've lived away in Alaska without relatives for so long. Roderick, let me see, how long have you had this new place?
Why, it must be,
5 years! It's been 5 years, children. You should keep a diary. This is your 6th Christmas dinner here.
Think of that, Roderick. We feel as though we lived here 20 years.
At all events, it still looks as good as new.
Well, what do you have, Brandon? Light or dark? Frida, fill up Cousin Brandon's glass.
Oh dear, I can't get used to these wines. I don't know what my father'd say, I'm sure. Mother Bayard, what'll you have, dear?
Yes, I remember when there were Indians on this very ground.
Roderick, Mother Bayard hasn't been very well lately.
My mother was a Faith Morrison. She married a young John Wainwright, who was a congregational minister.
Hadn't you better lie down, dear?
He saw her in his congregation one day, and right in the middle of his sermon, he said, "I'm going to marry that girl." And he did, and I'm their daughter.
Just a little nap, dear.
No, you go on with your dinner. I was 10 years old, and I said to my mother,
It's too bad it's such a cold, dark day today. We almost need the lamps. I spoke to Major Lewis for a moment after church today. His sciatica troubles him, but he does pretty well.
I know Mother Bayard wouldn't want us to grieve for her today, but I can't forget her sitting in her chair right beside us only a year ago. And she would be so glad to know her good news.
Now, it's Christmas. Cousin Brandon, a glass of wine with you, sir.
A glass of wine with you, sir.
Does the Major's sciatica cause him much pain?
Oh, some perhaps, but you know his way. He says it'll all be the same in 100 years.
Yes, he's a great philosopher.
His wife sent you 1,000 thanks for his Christmas present.
Oh, I forget what I gave her. Oh yes, the work basket. Oh, my wonderful new baby. My darling baby. I never saw such a child. Quick, nurse, a boy or girl? A boy? Roger, what should we call him?
We'll call him Charles, after your father and grandfather.
But there are no Charleses in the Bible, Roger.
Of course there are. Surely there are.
Oh, Roderick? Very well, but he shall always be Samuel to me.
Really, nurse, you've never seen such a child.
Oh, what miraculous hands he has. really, they're the most beautiful hands in the world. All right, nurse. Have a good nap, my darling child.
Now, don't drop him, nurse. Cousin Brendan and I still need him in our firm. Do something about this house.
Roderick, you're not going to change the house.
Oh, just touch it up here and there. It looks 100 years old.
It's a great glowing morning, Mother. The wind blows over the hill like a lot of cannon.
Charles, you carved the turkey here. Your father's not well.
But not yet.
Oh, you always said you hated carving.
And the sermon was lovely today. I cried and cried. Mother Bayard loved a good sermon so. And she used to sing the Christmas hymns all around the year. Oh dear, I've been thinking of her all morning.
Oh, shh, Mother, it's Christmas Day. You mustn't think of such things. You mustn't be depressed.
But sad things aren't the same as depressing things. I must be getting old. I like them.
Uncle Brandon, you haven't anything to eat. Pass this plate, Hilda, and some cranberry sauce.
It's glorious! Every last twig is wrapped around with ice. You almost never see that.
Dear, did you have time to deliver those presents after church, Genevieve?
Yes, Mama. Old Miss Lewis sends 1,000 things for hers. It was just what she wanted, she said. Give me lots, Charles, lots.
Statistics, ladies and gentlemen, show that us steady and moderate drinkers.
How about a little skating this afternoon, Father?
Oh, live till I'm 90.
I really don't think he ought to go skating.
Yes, but not yet.
He was so young and so clever, Cousin Brandon. I say he was so young and so clever. Never forget your father, children. He was a good man. Well, he wouldn't want us to grieve for him today.
White or dark, Genevieve? Just another slipper, Mother?
I remember when Mother Bayard lived in this house, and she was sitting in this chair right beside us 25 years ago today. She said Indians lived in this very spot, and she had to cross the river on a new-made raft.
She couldn't have, Mother.
That can't be true.
It certainly was true. Even I can remember when there was only one paved street. We were very happy to walk on boards. We can remember when there were no sidewalks, can't we, Cousin Brandon?
Oh, yes. And those were the days.
Those were the days.
And the ball last night, Genevieve? Did you have a nice time, dear? I hope you didn't waltz, though. I think a girl in our position ought to set an example. Did Charles keep an eye on you?
He had none left. They were all on Lenora Fanning. He can't conceal it any longer, Mother. I think he's engaged to marry Lenora Fanning.
I'm not engaged to marry anyone.
Well, she's very pretty.
I shall never marry, Mother. I shall sit in this house beside you forever, as though life were one long happy Christmas dinner.
I'm just unpredictable. That's all.
Lenora!
Good morning, Mother Bayard. Good morning, everybody. Mother Bayard, you sit here by Charles. It really is a splendid Christmas day today.
A little white meat. Genevieve, Mother, Lenora.
Every last twig is encircled with ice. You never see that.
Uncle Brandon, another? Rogers, fill my uncle's glass.
It's really your father used to do it. Please, Cousin Brandon, so. You know, Uncle Brandon, a glass of wine with you, sir.
Uncle Brandon, a glass of wine with you, sir?
A glass of wine with you, sir. And to the ladies, God bless them, every one.
Thank you, kind sir. And if I go to Germany for my music, I promise to be back for Christmas. I wouldn't want to miss it.
Dear, I hate to think of you over there, all alone in those strange pensions.
But darling, I'll be back before you know it. The time will pass so quickly. I'll be back in the twinkle of an eye. Oh, what an angel! The darlingest baby in the whole world. Do let me hold it, nurse.
passing of time can help in these things. Don't you think we could ask Cousin Ermengarde to come and live with us here? There's plenty for everyone, and I don't see why she should go on teaching the first grade forever and ever. She wouldn't be in the way, would she, Charles?
Oh, no, I think it would be fine. But first, a little more turkey and gravy, anyone? A little more turkey, mother?
It was great to be in Alaska in those days.
Mother, what is it? Just my dear. It will pass. Hold fast to music you know. No, I want to be alone for a few minutes.
If the Republicans collected all their votes instead of going off into cliques among themselves, they might prevent his getting a second term.
Charles, Mother doesn't tell us, but she hasn't been feeling very well these few days.
Come, Mother, we'll go to Florida for a few weeks.
Don't be foolish. Don't freeze.
What's left for me to do?
Oh, my darlings! Twins! Twins! Charles, look at them! Look at them!
Which is which?
I feel as though I'm the first mother in the world who ever had twins. Look at them now. But why wasn't Mother Bayard allowed to stay and see them?
I can't bear it! I can't go on!
Oh, but Genevieve, how frightfully Mother would feel to think that. Genevieve!
I never told her how wonderful she was. We all treated her as though she were just a friend in this house. I thought I would be with her forever.
Genevieve, darling, do come here a minute and hold my baby's hands. We shall call the girl Lucia after her grandmother. Will that please you? Oh, do just see what adorable little hands they have.
They're wonderful, Lenora.
Give them your finger, darling. Just let him hold it.
And we'll call the boys Samuel. Well, now everyone come and finish your dinners. Oh, and don't drop them, nurse. At least not the boy. We need him in the firm.
Someday they'll be big. Imagine. They'll come right in and say, hello, Mother.
Come, a little wine, Lenora. Genevieve, Eduardo, fill the ladies' glasses. Full of iron. It is a keen, cold morning. I used to go skating with Father on mornings like these, and Mother would come home from church saying,
Oh, I know, saying, such a splendid sermon. I cried and cried.
Why did she cry, Genevieve?
That was that generation's way. They all cried at sermons.
Really, dear?
They'd had to go since they were children. I suppose sermons reminded them of their fathers and mothers. It's just Christmas dinners to us. Especially in old houses like this.
It really is pretty old, Charles, and so ugly with all that ironwork, filigree, and the dreadful cupola.
You aren't going to change the house, Charles!
No. I'm not going to give up the house, but great heavens, it's 50 years old. This spring we'll remove the cupola and build a new wing toward the tennis courts.
Oh, and then couldn't we ask our dear old cousin Ermengarde to come and live with us? She really is the self-effacing kind.
Ask her now. Take her out of the first grade.
We only seem to think of it with her Christmas cards staring at us in the face.
Oh, another boy! Here's a Roderick for you at last.
Roderick Brandon Bayard, a regular little fighter.
Goodbye, darling. Don't grow up too fast. Yes. Stay just as you are. Thank you, nurse.
Stay just as you are.
Now I have 3 children. 1, 2, 3. 2 boys and a girl. It seems I'm collecting them. It's very exciting. What is it, Hilda? Oh, Cousin Ermengarde's come. Come in, cousin. It's such a pleasure to be with you all.
The twins have taken a great fancy to you already, cousin.
Yes, the baby went to her at once.
Exactly how are we related, cousin Ermengarde? There, Genevieve, that's your specialty. But first, a little more turkey, anyone? Cranberry sauce, anyone?
I can work this out. My grandmother Bayard was
Your grandmother Bayard was the second cousin of my grandmother Haskins through the Wainwrights.
Well, it's all in a book upstairs. That sort of stuff is dreadfully interesting.
Nonsense! There are no such books. I collect my notes off of gravestones, and you have to scrape a good deal of moss, let me tell you, to find one great-grandparent.
There's a story that my grandmother Bayard once crossed the Mississippi on a raft before there were any bridges or ferry boats. She died before Genevieve and I were born. How quickly time moves in a great new country like this. Some more cranberry sauce coming over there?
Time must be moving awfully slow in Europe with this dreadful, dreadful war going on.
Perhaps the occasional war isn't so bad after all. It just spells a lot of the poisons that collect in nations. It's kind of like a boil.
Oh dear, oh dear.
Yes, it's like a boil. Oh, here are your twins.
Isn't he wonderful in his mother?
Let's get a look at you.
Now, Mother, don't let Roderick fool with my stamp album while I'm gone.
You write a letter once in a while, Sam. You be a good boy about that, mind.
Cousin Ermengarde, you might send some of those cakes of yours once in a while.
I certainly will, my dear boy.
Remember, if you need any money at all, we have agents in Paris and London.
You be a good boy, Sam.
Well, goodbye.
Mama coming out of church. Her rheumatism's a little better. It was an admirable sermon. And our stained glass window looks so beautiful, Lenora. So beautiful. Everyone spoke of it. And so affectionately of Sammy. Forgive me, Lenora, but it's better to speak of him than not when we're all thinking of him so hard.
He was a mere boy. A mere boy, Charles.
My dear. My dear.
I want to tell him how we all feel about him. We let him go so casually. I want to tell him how wonderful he was. Forgive me.
Just let me walk around a minute. Yes, Ermengarde. It's best to speak of him.
Isn't there anything I can do?
Oh no. Only the passing of time can help with these things.
Well, what's the matter anyway? What are you so glum about? The skating was fine today.
Roderick, I have something to say to you.
Everybody was there. Lucia skated in the corners with Dan Creighton the whole time. When'll it be, Lucia? When'll it be?
I don't know what you mean.
Lucia's leaving us, Mother. Dan Creighton of all people.
Young man, I have something to say to you.
Yes, Father.
Is it true, Roderick, that you made yourself conspicuous last night at the country club, at a Christmas Eve dance, too?
Charles, not now, I beg you. This is Christmas dinner.
No, I didn't.
Really, Father, he didn't. It was that dreadful Johnny Lewis.
I don't want to hear about Johnny Lewis. I want to know whether a son of mine,
Charles, I beg you.
the first family of this city.
I hate this town and everything about it. I always did.
You behaved like a spoiled puppy, sir. Like an ill-bred, spoiled puppy.
What did I do? What did I do that was so wrong?
You were drunk and rude to the daughters of my best friend.
Nothing in the world deserves such an ugly scene like this. I'm ashamed of you, Charles.
Oh my God, you gotta get drunk in this town to forget how dull it is. Time passes so slowly and then it stands still.
Well, young man, we can employ your time. You will leave the university and come into the Bayard factory on January 2nd.
I don't want to work in your old factory. I'm going somewhere where time passes. My God.
Roderick! Roderick, come here a moment! Charles, where can he go?
Mother, he'll come back. He'll be right back. Now I have to go upstairs and pack my trunk.
I won't have any children left.
Mother, he's only gone to California or somewhere. Cousin Ermengarde has done most of my packing. 1,000 times this. I won't be long.
It's a beautiful day outside. I spoke to Mrs. Foster a moment coming out of church. Her arthritis comes and goes.
Is she in terrible pain, dear?
Oh, she says it'll all be the same in 100 years.
Yes, she's a brave little stoic.
A little white meat, Mother? Mary, pass my cousin's plate.
What is it, Mary? Oh, here's a telegram from them in Paris. Love and Christmas greetings to all.
I told them that we would be eating some of their wedding cake today and thinking of that. They seem to say that they'll settle somewhere along the shore, north of New York. There's no shore north of New York.
Well, east, west, whatever it is.
My, what a dark day. How slowly time moves without any young people in the house.
I have 3 children somewhere.
Well, one of them gave his life for his country.
Yes, and one of them is selling aluminum in China.
I can stand everything, but this terrible soot everywhere. We should have moved long ago. We're surrounded by factories. We have to change the curtains every week.
Why, Genevieve?
I can't stand it. I can't stand it anymore. I'm going abroad. It's not just the soot, but it's the thoughts. It's the thought of what has been and what might have been, and it's the feeling of this house, of the years grinding away. My mother died yesterday, not 25 years ago. That's it. I'm going abroad. I'm going to be an American old maid living and dying in the pension of Munich or Florence.
Genevieve, you're tired.
Come, Genevieve, take a good long drink of cold water. Mary, open the window a minute.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Dear Genevieve will come back to us, I think. It was a lovely day outside. It was one of those days when everything's encircled with ice. Very pretty indeed.
My father used to take me skating on mornings like these. I wish I felt a little better.
What? Have I got 2 invalids on my hands? Cousin Ermengarde, you must get better and help me nurse Charles.
I'll do my best.
Well, Lenora, I'll do as you ask. I'll write the puppy a letter of forgiveness and apology. It's Christmas Day. I'll cable it. That's what I'll do.
Ermengarde, it's such a comfort having you here with me. I
I really can't eat anything, Mary. Well, perhaps just a sliver of white meat.
I spoke to Mrs. Keene on coming out of church. She asked after the young people. I felt so proud sitting under our window, Lenora, and our brass tablets. It's a Bayard aisle. It's a regular Bayard aisle, and I love it.
Ermengarde, would you be very angry if I went and stayed with the young people for a little while this spring?
Of course not. I know how badly they want you and need you there, especially now that they're building the new house.
You wouldn't be angry. This house is yours as long as you want it, remember.
I don't see why the rest of you dislike it so much. I like it more than I can say.
I won't be gone long, and we can have some more of our readings in the evening.